Welcome to the very first episode of The Scare Guy, where we celebrate everything that's scary fun. Woo-hoo! This week we preview ScareLA, California's premier horror convention that celebrates everything about Halloween, and we preview all the cool movies and events coming up this Halloween season. We're excited to have you guys. Tune in.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
All right. As we said, welcome to The Scare Guy. This is the scarier side of the con guy. So you can find The Scare Guy at thescareguy.com. You can follow us on Twitter at thescareguy.com. Instagram, thescareguy.com. Our social media director, Cheeseman on the couch, has set all that stuff up for us. We have a great show tonight, a bunch of great guests. We're going to be talking about ScareLA, which is coming up just this weekend down at the LA Convention Center. My name is Jim. I am the managing editor, Jim Frye, the managing editor of The Scare Guy. You can find me at Con Guy Jim right now. And who else do we have next to me?
Hi, my name is Derek. I contribute to theconguy.com, and you can find me on Twitter at ConGuyDerek.
Hi, my name is Lora. I'm the creator and executive producer of ScareLA, coming up this August 5th and 6th.
And I'm Alana Jordon. You guys can always catch me here pretty much on AfterBuzz TV, and I'm a host for Popcorn Talk Network as well, and I'm excited to be back with you guys.
We are so excited to have Elena back with us.
It's been so long.
Yes.
And I'm Luke Cheeseman, also known as Cheeseman on the Couch. I guess I'd use that con guy, Luke. Is that what we have as my Twitter still?
Yes.
And you can also find me on thescareguy.com, and we have an Instagram and Twitter, and soon to have a Facebook page. So keep an eye out for that.
It's all scareguy.com. So glad you guys are with us tonight. Now, when we talk about the Scare Guy, this is all things that are scary fun. You know, like anything that has to do with Halloween, anything that has to do with the horror movies coming up this fall, anything that has to do with great television shows. This is a fun topic. And I tell you what, this is the perfect group of people to have in here. I know Derek is not a specialist in this area.
No.
So we're going to scare him. But Elena, I am so glad you were back with us, because what are the shows that you are hosting on AfterBuzz right now?
Well, Teen Wolf, American Horror Story. We got a whole bunch that we're actually have coming up right now that I'm excited about.
So the American Horror Story trailers
and
look.
I did Ash vs. the Evil Dead too,
Is that-
which
I was
I'm
gonna-
excited to. Yeah.
When does that come back? That comes back this fall, right?
Yeah, and that one we're really excited about too. We'll probably dive into that a little later, but
Yep.
we're gonna get to live it at Halloween Horror Nights this year. So.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Laura, ScareLA, the Southern California's premier Halloween and horror convention. So can you tell us a little bit about ScareLA? We're going to talk about it a little bit now and then dive in a little bit later as well.
Yeah, ScareLA started in 2013. We were the first fan convention dedicated entirely to Halloween, and we decided to bring Halloween to the summer. Out of all times of the year, we figured why not get an early start, get ready for October, get our groove on. So we opened up in downtown Los Angeles. This is our year 5, and we're actually moving the show back to LA, where it started, to the LA Convention Center. So now we've grown so much that we're actually taking over the big
That's
building.
fantastic.
So,
Last year it was at the Pasadena Convention Center.
Convention Center.
That's where I picked up this guy. I got him at ScareLA last year in
It's
Pasadena.
the Creature of the Black Lagoon, for those
Right.
of you just listening.
Oh, my favorite, my absolute favorite. And I was actually there when you guys were, I think it was the Reef downtown LA.
Yes.
I was there when you
First
guys started,
venue
yeah.
ever, yeah. So we had it's been a crazy, explosive growth, and we couldn't be more excited about this 5th year. It's our kind of first milestone. It feels like we've finally grown up and joined the big leagues. So it's a huge pressure. We're actually just about 4 days away from the show itself and 2 days away from load-in. So I can't even, I don't know what I'm doing here. I should probably head back and start working.
It's so funny because right before the show starts tonight, like she was very, very stressed out, and like she's getting no sleep, no anything. We got her here, and she's like, I've got to order up massage tonight just so I can keep on going. So she's a massage happening tonight after the show, just so,
So yeah,
she can
if she
continue.
ducks out of the show early, that's why. She's got an important
They see
appointment to
me.
get to.
Some of the big things that we might expect to see this year at ScareLA, things that fans are going to be excited about.
Well, I'll start with the biggest and the one that I think we just recently announced as a super big reveal, because we hit 100,000 fans on our social media channels
Wow.
across Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So we got a huge surprise, which is that somebody from Tales from the Crypt,
Tales from the Crypt.
and I'll let you guess who that might have been, but he's actually going to be the official host of ScareLA 2017.
Wait, Cheeseman, can you do the voice?
I know we said no trivia, but
I have never tried that before.
The Crypt
Wow.
Keeper
Himself.
himself.
So John Castor is going to actually be at the ScareLA show floor on a microphone all weekend long, making announcements and broadcasting throughout the entire show. So he'll be announcing all the panels, the presentations, the cool things, and he's going to be, talking about some other things there that will surprise us too. But we've prepared an amazing lineup. This is actually the most diverse our program has ever been since ScareLA started. We're going to have Phantom Ravager cast reunion at the...
Okay, I was talking about them before the show. Phantasm, Ravagers, having the full screening and the full cast there. That's amazing. Phantasm is one of those great movies from the 70s that is just
Going to be
ruined my childhood.
awesome. We also have the cast of Walking Dead the game. All the voice actors are coming together, so the characters that you play with, that you hear on your game screens, they are going to be at ScareLA talking about their experience.
That Telltale game too is like one of the best ever. So that's so cool that they're going to be there.
It's going to be amazing. Obviously, Universal Studios Hollywood Halloween Horror Nights are going to be back with a big reveal. They've promised. They haven't told us what it is. It's always a surprise. And really, anything from incredible VR experiences like It. We're going to have the
That
It
one I'm
VR
so
experience.
excited about. The
Yes.
float.
Float cinematic VR experience. I think it's going to be pretty amazing.
Luke actually experienced that down at Comic-Con. He'll tell us a little bit, give us a sneak peek about that a little bit later on in the show.
World premiere of Flatline, which is a virtual reality.
I'm looking at that right now. What is
death
that? Yeah.
experience? You will be sitting in an ambulance and experiencing your own death. So basically, they took stories from all of these people that flatlined at some point in their lives and kind of what they saw and what they felt during that time.
And so they kill you and revive you.
They strangle you for about 5 minutes. No,
Okay.
it's in VR, so I think it's about as safe as you can do this.
Do you get hugged when it's over when you
How
come
the
out?
Kevin
Do they
Bacon movie
I'm so
turned
glad you're
out.
alive?
Yeah, do you have a room for counseling afterwards?
Yeah.
Afterwards. That's something you might want to think about. We have a giant interactive hall, which is about 60,000 square feet of a dark hall with a carnival, circus, city streets, and slider shows, knife fights in the cemetery.
I'm looking at
forest.
the Night Circus. What is the Night Circus?
The Night Circus is actually one of the former Ringling Brothers ringmasters has created this new circus that's kind of reviving the U.S. Circus tradition and doing a special creepy show at ScareLA. So they are basically taking their show and making it a little bit darker and spookier for just our fans. They're going to be doing 3 shows every day throughout the weekend. So you can actually be inside a convention hall, inside a circus. Can't get any better than that. There's going to be aerialists and acrobats and the full shebang.
All right. Well, we are going to dive into some of the classes, if you can kind of walk us through a little bit later in the show. But for right now, can we talk for a second about your convention seems to be on the cutting edge, the front side of a huge wave that's just kind of sweeping the country, which is the love of Halloween. And it's kind of crazy, like our other shows that, about cons and Comic-Cons and how they kind of overtaken the pop culture now. But right now, this love of Halloween for the 3 months leading up to Halloween, and for many people all year long, has been this giant thing, this craze. So I have a question for everybody. When did your love of Halloween and horror start? What did it for you? Does any Cheeseman? What did it for you?
I'll try to be brief, but my story started as a little child, being the kid in the grocery store that I actually had my mom talk to the grocery. They had all the horror movies set out, and then there's the Freddy Krueger VHS tape, and it would just scare me to walk by because it was right when you're going to the produce right at the beginning. I'm like, can you put that somewhere else? Because I can't look at that or whatever. And then my mom actually talked to him can you do something about that? They never did, but it was just funny that I'm terrified of the Chucky covers, all these horror movie cases used to scare me to death as a kid. But then when I hit around 8 years old, Jaws was on TV the first time, and I had to look away on different parts.
The shirt
because I was
you're
scared.
wearing right
the
now.
shirt I'm wearing right now.
Yep.
So I became obsessed with that movie, even though I didn't watch it all the way through. And then by the time I was 10 or 11, I was able to watch it all the way through. And then my friend Jake, who you'll probably hear about through the ScareGuy.com and different things, he'll be helping us. He actually kind of got me into the whole horror movie thing. I'd go over his house, tell my parents the good PG movies I saw, but not tell them I watched Friday the 13th, Halloween,
All the classics.
and all the Nightmare on Elm Street and all that stuff. So when middle school hit, we were watching everything, and then he gave me a bootlegged copy of Scream that he ripped from Blockbuster, and even took made ransom letters for the VHS tape stickers. And then I watched it so much at home, my mom took it away and hid it from me, because every time someone would come over, let's watch Scream. But eventually she gave it back, and that's kind of my story of.
And then last year we were able to
me.
go to the 20th anniversary of Scream showing out here in Los Angeles. That was kind of cool. Now, Elena, you seem to embody this time of year. I remember last year you threw the best Halloween party at your house. That was amazing. So when did it start for you?
My family is all super duper into Halloween, so growing up, I was just immersed in it. So my aunt always will decorate her whole house just super intricately, and will take everything out of all the display cabinets and replace it with potions and things just to look extra cool. And my cousin does special effects too, so he made a full guillotine one year that was what looked like a functional guillotine. So there was a real blade that you could cut things, but then it would trigger a fake blade that then landed, and there was two people. So one would drop while the other one's hands were up, and it looked incredibly realistic. He made a real version of his head that you could then reach up and pull out. This was for an 8-year-old's Halloween party. He made this. So it was, my whole life has basically been, when they do Halloween, it's not like, here, we just put a little bat sticker on something. It's like, we made a real bat and it's flying around. It just ridiculously epic. So
That's awesome. Wow.
For me, actually, it started with movies. I grew up, born and raised in Europe, so I remember back when I was little, there was they didn't show R-rated movies on television until Saturday after midnight. So you had to literally stay up, and I'd my mom, I don't know why on earth she would let me do this, but she'd actually let me stay up until midnight or 1 on Saturday to watch the only kind of really horror R-rated movies that were on television at the time. So When a Stranger Calls is the first movie that got me into this, and that was, and to this day I think phone ringing is probably one of the most terrifying experiences I can think of late at night when you're alone. And then Halloween itself, actually, I grew up carving jack-o'-lanterns out of watermelons. So we used to get in the summers these giant piles of watermelons that would be dropped in the farmers markets, and you'd get them, and what do you do with them when they're done? So we'd started carving these jack-o'-lanterns. So my entire family, we had this huge summer jack-o'-lantern carving tradition,
awesome.
which really kind of ties into Halloween in the summer with ScareLA now somehow, very strangely.
It's in your blood.
It's in my blood. It was meant to be.
Watermelon jack-o'-lanterns all through ScareLA. Just as a tribute.
That would be great.
We tried. It's a little messy. So now we do them out of foam, but I still have this fantasy about one day really going to town with a pile of watermelons.
And Derek, do you have any special memories you want to share?
Right. I could. My relationship with Halloween is more complex, I guess, and I'd probably give a long and boring answer if I talk about it.
But give a short and exciting one.
I'll try. Okay. Well, I've always loved costumes and theatricality.
Yeah.
Let's see, when I was a little kid and would go trick-or-treating, I lived in a small little neighborhood in West Virginia, and all the houses that around us that we could go to, we were related to the people there. So it was like great aunts and uncles and cousins who were giving us candy, and we'd still thought our parents had to check the candy for some reason, because that's what they always said on TV. But I didn't really get into horror movies. I'm still slowly getting exposed to stuff now, but my
shock therapy.
Yeah, my freshman year of college, the college I had a dollar theater right next door, and we would go there and watch stuff that had come out, and it was just a few months later, but some of it was really badly done, and I was like, this is not scary. What have I been worried about my whole life? I mean, just because I had a very active imagination as a child. But yeah, it turns out, and as I've learned a little more about some of the really well done scary movies, even though I don't necessarily enjoy being really scared, I can appreciate the skill it takes to do them well, and I love good storytelling and the mood that things are created, and I think it's fascinating the thematic nature of a lot of horror, how people are usually dealing with the consequences of some sin in their past, and it's coming back to haunt them, and I think the psychology around that is just fascinating. So is that okay? Is that short enough?
No.
One movie. Just name one movie that you enjoyed.
One movie that you enjoyed that's a horror movie, or at least a scary movie.
Scary movie? Well, at the time, I really liked Signs. I know it's weird to say
that's
that
a fantastic movie.
Okay, because M. Night Shyamalan kind of
good movie.
Did some crazy stuff after a while, but
he went crazy, but he came back.
Yeah.
He came back. He's back in the fold. All right.
Redeemed himself.
Let me tell you what started with me. I was born into a Halloween family. I have no other way to say it.
He was born in a pumpkin.
I almost was. My very first family picture is me sitting next to a pumpkin that my parents had carved. I bet you they had stuck me in that. Mom, if you're watching
been
this,
in that pumpkin
I
at some
think
point
they
in
probably
time.
put me in that pumpkin.
No photo of it, but
At age 2, they dressed me up as a little girl for Halloween.
That's weird.
And then they did it again for age 3 and age 4. So I guess they just thought it was funny. But we always carved the pumpkins. We started the trick or treating, and then we kind of, that was fun. But then I was way too young to watch it. But I was completely corrupted and changed by the movie John Carpenter's Halloween. That's what did it for me. I saw that movie. I saw the television version. Actually, I was at a slumber party with a bunch of friends, and one of the kids had seen it, and he kind of ruined a lot of it. Like
How
telling
old?
us, pretty young.
What's young? Like
7th grade. Yeah.
Okay.
And then it was on television. I watched it, and back then it used to come on every year and stuff. And I remember my mom. She watched it with us, and for the next 2 or 3 weeks, she was screaming in her room, waking up screaming, having nightmares every night. And I was downstairs. I thought it was the funniest thing. I loved it.
Come on, you slept in their bed for
It
the
was
next
so
2
funny.
weeks.
So, and then, like, after that, like, Halloween became this thing, like, oh, Halloween's not just trick-or-treating. It's a time to get scared people. And then I personally started hosting and putting on and producing haunted houses at my house. So when trick-or-treaters came, they had to go through the haunted house first. And some people liked it, some didn't. I remember I was probably like in the middle school when I put on this big haunted house. We planned it for like all month, and then on Halloween night, all the actors didn't do what they were supposed to do, so I fired them all and said, Halloween's off. And then we just threw a party.
canceled Halloween.
I was a hothead. Anyways, so Halloween's been a big part of my life
surprise.
ever since then.
This is making up
The
for your
Grinch of
Halloween Grinchery. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Grinch who said,
The
remember
Grinch
the
of
Grinch?
Halloween.
She canceled Halloween.
Remember the Grinch came down on Halloween night? That was crazy. So, Derek, if you could quickly take us through, speaking of scare conventions, we have a bulletin board. These are not Comic-Cons. These are scare, horror, and Halloween-themed conventions that are happening. Starting with
ScareLA in Los Angeles at the Los Angeles Convention Center this weekend, August 5th and 6th.
Yep.
And then Monster Mania Con in Baltimore at the Baltimore Marriott, August 18th and 20th. And then August 26th and 27th in Dallas-Fort Worth, Halloween and Haunt Fest show. And then next, Son of Monsterpalooza is at the Burbank Marriott, September 15th and 17th. And one that I am very excited about, but will not get to see, unfortunately, is the Mothman Festival in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, September 16th and 17th. Scarefest Horror and Paranormal Convention is September, let's see.
9th.
That's not September 9th through October 1st. I think that's September 29th through October 1st.
You are correct.
Yes,
You are correct.
in Lexington, Kentucky.
All right. Now, we are doing something right now, real quick, if it works. Does it work? Countdown to Halloween. Anthony. This might work. Anyways, what we are doing.
There it is.
Remember this music? You may recognize this. This is the Countdown to Halloween song from the movie. Anybody name the movie? Halloween 3. Halloween 3.
I didn't say it because you told me, so.
An absolutely terrible movie, but this theme is kind of rings true for everybody. So right now, this is our countdown to Halloween. These are the haunted attractions and events, the big ones that are happening across the country right now. Right here in California, we have a wealth of these things, and I don't apologize for it. I love living here because we have so much.
Unapologetically embracing it.
I mean, because they're all
Yes.
coming to ScareLA this next coming weekend to show off their wares. Not Scary Farm is happening September 21 through October 31. Over 1,000 creatures live shows. They're calling it the largest Halloween event in Southern California. Universal Hollywood's Halloween Horror Nights starts September 15th. You have a special connection over there. You're always up there, yeah?
I actually am really excited too. This is the first year in a couple of years that they're bringing back the VIP experience, the RIP tours. So
Oh, nice.
I actually recommend if people want to go and check out Halloween Horror Nights.
How do
this is
those
the
work?
first year. So you basically have a guide that will take you in a group through all the different mazes and will point out all the stuff to you, and then you get front of the line passes for unlimited for the event.
Wow.
So then you get to go back and check out all the stuff.
That-
And
Do
that
you
know
really
what
is
all
the
the
way to
scares
go.
are, though?
That really
It's
is the way to go.
amazing. It's
Were they going to
awesome.
jump out at you? Do you know the
Oh, yeah.
scares when they... So it like preps you, look, there's going to be a guy jumping out right there.
No, they won't do that. They won't do
No,
that.
He's gonna
why would
jumping
they
out
do
at
that?
Yeah. Do they jump out when they're giving you the tour?
What do you
Inside?
mean? It's Halloween Horror Night, so yeah,
Yeah.
you're experiencing the whole thing.
Okay, good.
I don't know what you're asking.
I didn't know if they like take you
think it
through
is.
and kind of show you the making of the... the haunted house.
Yeah,
or
I get
something.
what
No,
you're
it's
asking.
not a
There's no-
behind the
yeah.
scenes
It's not a
of
behind the
how
scenes.
it
Okay.
works.
It's
It's
front
taking
of-
you front of the line to all the
Front of line,
attractions.
too. Okay.
Yeah.
Get
I
you
thought
out
they
of
give
all
you
the
the tour
riffraff.
and then you go through it or something.
Save the
No,
4-hour wait.
no.
I would enjoy that. I'd love to have a tour guide
That
take
wouldn't
us
be
through.
right there.
possible.
Michael's gonna
but
pop
it's
out
not-
right there.
There is
How
no
the,
behind the scenes. You're in the
Yeah.
maze.
So this starts September
occasion.
15th, and what's cool this year, they're featuring The Shining. The Shining is going to be
Yes, it
featured
looks
there.
so cool already.
probably gonna be
They
really creepy,
already
but
have
really
a lot of the
impressive.
mazes. They've been working on them.
Oh,
so
yeah?
the outside
That's
of
awesome.
The Shining looks really, really
Wow.
cool. It's the exterior of the maze, so
Yeah.
it's all the shrubbery. And
Oh, that's
everything.
awesome,
And
like-
then they have all the fake trees bringing in for American Horror Story Roanoke.
Oh, so they're
Oh,
doing
wow.
that one?
Yeah, so they have all that set up. And then for Ash vs. the Evil Dead, they're actually working on Ash's trailer out front. You can kind of see it. So I'm assuming I'll go
Now,
through
I
his
went to
trailer
Halloween
get
Horror
into
Nights
it.
a couple of years ago, and it was fun, but I found out something about myself. Like, when I get scared, I laugh. Like, something makes me jump.
I do
and
that too. I
Whenever
do
I'm
that.
going to yell, it turns into, ah! Yeah. And so then they like don't want to jump out at me as much because they're like, oh, he's just laughing at everything. We'll scare this girl that's there with him, you know.
That's called psychosis.
That's why you cover your face
A little bit.
while you're laughing. Because if you walk through like this, they'll jump out at you more.
So that
Yeah,
starts
well, I'm not saying
September.
I want them
It
to,
starts
yeah.
September 15th up at Universal Studios Hollywood, and it goes. I think it even goes the weekend after Halloween. I
Yeah,
think so, a
they
little bit
always
into
go
November.
through.
Yeah.
November
They go
2nd.
later.
And we're going to be there this year. I'm going September 22
Second?
or 3. It's one of the first couple of weekends there. But we're also heading over to Florida, Universal Orlando's Halloween Horror Lights and Halloween. That's a big mouthful.
It's a big.
Universal
It's hard. I tripped
Orlando
on it.
Halloween Horror Nights in Florida, which are the same date, September 15th through November 4th.
You guys
And-
are going to that?
Yeah, we're
Oh,
heading down to that one.
nice.
Double dip.
So
Double
you have
dip it.
this
Yeah.
side
We're gonna-
by side. So
Yeah.
we'll know
I
You'll
did
have to
it-
come back and tell us which.
You know what's cool? I
which
did
one
them.
who's
won, yeah,
victorious.
right?
I did them both last year, and whereas Orlando has some that are better, they had one of the mazes out here that was just so much better. The Halloween maze here was better. John Carpenter's Halloween, and then
that
they
one
had
was awesome.
the woman who sneaks into your
La
bedroom.
Llorona?
Yes.
The La Llorona maze was
That's amazing.
incredible with the big creature that eats the kid.
Yes, that's the scariest thing of the whole
And the
thing.
giant hands underneath the bed.
There is a big difference between the two, though.
There is
And
one
it
big
has to do
difference.
with beverages.
There are no beverages in California. There are free-flowing beverages in Orlando, so
Oh.
it makes for a different experience.
Yeah.
So
That seems like it could be
Pre-game
Free
versus
drink if you
Yeah,
want.
drinking
that
line.
sounds
you know.
dangerous.
In the parking
Yeah,
lot.
that sounds dangerous for the actors.
every 15 feet there's a bar
It
in
actually
Florida.
is,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
But I asked them. They said I've been told that California audiences cannot handle alcohol at their Halloween events. So,
That
but
does not surprise me.
all,
I can vouch for that being true.
all that they
I've
do at
seen
the
it.
Queen Mary at the Queen Mary's Dark Harbor, it's free flowing. Anyways, so there's also let me see. Hollow Scream at Busch Gardens, Tampa, in Florida. Mickey's Not So Scary is on both coasts.
I'll do that one.
That one's kind of fun. I figured you would like that one. Cedar Point, Hollow Weekend, Sandusky, Ohio is one of the largest ones in the Midwest. It starts September 15th through
Really?
October 29th.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yep. Also, Halloween Haunt at Kings Island in Cincinnati, Ohio is one of the largest ones in the middle part of the country. Vegas is having the Fright Dome at Circus. And of course, all across the country, Six Flags Fright Fest will be happening. If you have some events you'd like us to talk about, send them to us. We can talk about them. These are some of the biggest ones that we were able to comb through. We don't have time to go through all of them, but we will be talking about them. You'll find links to each of these on our website. Also, real quick, how can people get tickets to ScareLA this week? We didn't ask you that.
ScareLA.com has
right.
all the info, and your tickets are right there.
Fantastic.
So Fear Freaks are already selling out. So if you like front of line experiences and you try to do that, make sure that you get those first because we
I
only
like-
have ones left for Sunday.
I like that your website name is so easy.
Right?
ScareLA.com.
All right.
If you don't know how to spell LA,
As we-
Shouldn't be in LA.
As we head into the fall season, this is the time when all the big studios put out all their best horror movies, and so we do have a bunch coming out this fall. And starting September 1st with the Jackals. Now we went through and looked at all the trailers earlier. I don't know a lot about the Jackals except for what did you think about it? Does anyone know anything about it?
It had a little bit of like the Strangers kind of feel, but I don't know. The trailer didn't seem as good. I mean, it may be a great film, but the trailer didn't quite grab me yet.
A bunch of people trapped in a
Stuff.
cabin, and
It looked
people
like
come
the
try to
Strangers
kill
meets
them,
like
yeah.
last season of American Horror Story because they're all wearing kind of almost like animal head type things.
But this next one, September 8th, is one of the biggest
Oh,
horror movies of
man.
the fall.
Yes.
It.
Which is also being featured at ScareLA,
Yes.
the experience of It. Have you guys seen the trailer for this?
It is so creepy.
I can't
So
wait.
good.
I can't wait.
That trailer
Yeah.
is terrifying.
Everyone's losing their it over it.
Losing it.
Losing it.
Yes.
I think It is probably my most anticipated film that I
Same here.
can't wait to see this fall. And then the next one is probably a close second, Annabelle Creation, which is a continuation of the hunting.
Annabelle. Yeah.
Annabelle.
Annabelle,
That's
yeah.
right, Annabelle, which is also an offshoot of. And you were about to say.
I was gonna say it's also there's gonna be a cool, very groovy photo op based on Annabelle at ScareLA.
Oh yeah, I
wow.
saw that.
Nice.
And Sunday is International Doll Day, so
Oh,
why
that's
not
right.
International Creepy Doll Day?
Oh,
Haunted.
jeez. Of
Isn't
course.
that just
Of
redundant?
course.
Dolls, yeah. It's so creepy.
Dolls will never not be creepy.
Now, Elena, you have a friend who actually has a movie that's coming out this fall as well.
Death Note. I'm so excited. Adam Wingard, who also directed You're Next and VHS. Amazing director. Actually went to school with him back in Alabama, and he's just an awesome guy. So he's going to be directing Death Note, and he's doing his adaptation of it for Netflix. So it's going to be pretty cool because it has a lot of the same themes as the manga, but he's also kind of taking creative license to make sure that the new environment is adapted and that it's not just trying to force something that wouldn't work into a new
looks
environment. So
amazing.
I'm,
It
I'm
looks
really
really
excited.
good.
I can't wait to see what he's
I
going to do
just saw the
with it.
trailer today, and I was like, "Wow, where did this come from? I have never heard of that."
And I know
Your
some of
Next
the
was so
producers
good.
from it, and they did the Lego Movie and
Yeah.
other stuff too. But it's crazy because they're producing it and that one. Death
Oh,
Note.
It and Death Note are
are
both from the
both
same
Link
producers.
Pictures. Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Which is cool. And then also Happy Death Day is going to be
Okay.
coming out that Universal Pictures is doing with Blumhouse. And Blumhouse always does something for Halloween Horror Nights too. So we're excited to see if it's going to be
Oh, that would be
mazes
cool.
or scare zones, or if it's going to be tied into this movie, or if it's going to be Conjuring or Insidious. So we'll see when we get the announcements on
Yes.
those. So.
That's awesome. Keep us posted on that. Keep us posted. And also, Happy Death Day, if you guys don't know, it's a great combination. If you've seen Groundhog Day, it's kind of a combination of Groundhog Day and some kind of slasher movie.
Every slasher
Every
movie,
slasher movie,
basically. So
yeah.
the premise is she dies every day. She relives her own murder, but she gets
right.
clues depending on how she's killed to try to find her murderer so that she can stop herself from getting murdered every single day.
Oh goodness.
Yeah. It's kind of like an episode of Supernatural. Where
Yeah, there was an episode.
Yes.
Slasher mashup.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's a slasher. But there was an episode of Supernatural. What were you
Slash up.
talking about?
Yeah, where Dean gets killed like over and over again and stuff. But the brother,
Re-slash.
yeah, he's the one that keeps waking up after his brother dies.
I think it's great. Hey, and Cheeseman, October 20th has two movies that kind of are throwbacks to the 70s and 80s. What are they?
The what?
Okay, October 20th, there are two movies coming out. They're throwbacks to movies from the 70s and 80s.
Oh, those ones. Oh, well, Chucky.
Chucky.
Call of Chucky and Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw. So watch both those trailers.
Yep.
And it's interesting because the Chucky one, he's not all stitchy looking. At least in the trailer, he may be at some point in the movie, but they almost went back to the old look of him before he got all jacked up. And then the Leatherface one, that looks pretty intense.
Intense. It's the
I mean,
only
I've
word.
had a hard time watching any of the remakes just because they're almost too much. I like kind of the old school one feels kind of that weird, out in the country, your car could break down and you run into all these crazy
I
people.
don't know. I felt like the Jessica
So-
Biel Texas Chainsaw Massacre was a really good remake. Like,
It
I
was
thought that
seen
one was
that
horrifying, disturbing.
I loved
I mean,
it.
it was
I thought
great.
it was so
but
good,
yeah,
and
very
because
I
somebody who
felt
loved the
disturbed.
original, I was like, "There's no way I'm gonna like this remake." Like, I went into it
To hate it. Ready
we'll
to.
see.
No,
about
they did
this. I was like,
so
wow,
good. I
this is
felt
so
disturbed.
You did?
So good. I felt
Good.
disturbed when I saw the remake of Texas Chainsaw. Yeah.
Well, I'm super stoked about that. I'm not Leatherface. Cult of Chucky. I grew up in the age of Chucky, so I'm kind of glad to see Chucky back on the
Chucky
scene.
boy.
Chucky boy. And then finally, October 27th, Halloween is being reclaimed by the people of Saw. It's Jigsaw. I never got it. Jigsaw. That kind of makes sense. You know,
It's
that's
like
kinda
me and
cool.
pancakes. I always blew my mind one day when I'm like, it's pancakes in a pan.
That is so true.
yeah.
But the trailer looks pretty intense. It looks pretty good.
Is he alive? Is he not? I don't
Nobody
know.
knows. But there is one movie I do want to talk about today. If you're watching the show live, today is July 31st. Exactly.
Happy birthday, Harry Potter.
It is Harry Potter's birthday.
Oh, but there's something.
That's more related.
Happy birthday.
Exactly 30 years ago to this day, and we're showing the trailer right now.
There it is.
There's
That's
a great
Yeah.
movie, what I consider the greatest vampire movie of all
Best
time.
mullet movie of
The
all
Lost
time.
Boys. There's Jamie Gertz in one of her first roles ever.
Welcome to
Oh, hello.
And this is The Lost Boys. I loved it. It was filmed up in Santa Cruz, which they call it Santa Clara here, but they had to change the name because apparently Santa Cruz got upset being called the murder capital of the world.
Yeah.
The good days
why.
of Joel
They don't know good
Schumacher.
marketing.
I know. And that's back, what's his, Jason Patrick, back when they were trying
And
to
of
make
course,
Jason.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh, the mullet
yeah.
days,
The
yes.
blonde mullet.
But
Point Break with vampires.
oh, you know those vampires they hired were just male models. They didn't know how to act well, obviously, and they
Well-
So it's like Twilight.
just isn't it? Except
The
for
Bill
the
and
short
Ted guy.
one, the short one, yeah.
Yes,
oh, the Frog
Corey!
Brothers, yes. One of the best
Man.
lines. You're one of us now, Michael. You sleep. What? You party all night, sleep all
Amazing.
day.
And then it's also another anniversary as well.
I got that wrong. I was completely wrong. Please don't make me look bad. Yes, it is. It's
It is.
the 39th anniversary.
of Halloween.
Yes, yes.
You don't look bad. You're right, man.
Okay. Yeah, I was just jumping the gun
It's
on that
the
one.
30th of Lost Boys, 39th of Halloween.
Exactly. I kind of jumped the gun, and on our run sheet, I said it's the 40th anniversary of
He
Halloween.
was thinking of when he saw it on TV.
Yes, I saw it.
A year
That makes
before
sense.
it
A year
came
before,
out.
well, the preview.
All right. So anyway, I just wanted to do a special call out to The Lost Boys. It's, in my opinion, the best vampire movie ever made. It was it was Joel Schumacher. He did it for Warner Brothers, and he made vampires cool. It was one of the first vampire
he ruined
cool
Batman.
movies. We're not talking about
I'm
that
kidding.
one.
I'm kidding.
This was the
Well, he kinda
Batman's movie that was
Batman Forever was
great.
good, though.
Anyways, Elena, we got
At the
some
time.
cool TV shows that are hitting
Yeah,
airwaves
there's
coming
a
up
whole
too.
bunch of TV
There's
shows
Yeah.
coming back. We got Walking Dead coming back in October.
Awesome.
Stranger Things.
Oh, my favorite.
You got some
I'm
Stranger Things.
Yeah,
too,
you
can't
got your
wait.
Stranger Things poster too. Do you
Oh, yeah,
have a
I've
whole
got
that's
this
to
cool
show
poster.
off
Show
how
it.
cool it
But
is.
this is the stuff
The
I got
marketing.
at the Netflix offsite at Comic-Con. They show this off.
Yes. Oh, so
Awesome,
cool.
can't wait.
Yeah. And then, of
That's
course, these little
awesome.
miniature Funko Pops.
So
Yeah.
awesome. And then American Horror Story is going to be coming back too. This one is Cult, which we know is going to have something to do with clowns, and we've heard political things. We don't really know what's going to happen, but they love keeping us on our toes.
Are you gonna be
for
hosting the
that
after
show.
show?
Yeah, so I'll be back hosting with
So
that
make sure you
one.
turn into the after show. Elena will be hosting that.
Yeah, and then also Supernatural is going to be coming back.
Season 13, I think.
That show is just
Can't
forever.
kill
Keeps
it.
going.
No.
Yeah.
Can't
Just
kill
like the
Superman.
You
characters
can
in the
send
show.
the characters to hell.
They never
right back.
die.
They've been held back and they even met God. So
Yeah, they're all about it.
What do you
so
do
it's
next?
Like, there you go. You just keep crushing it, I guess. I'm really excited iZombie is going to be back. I love
too.
that. Love that show.
such a clever
And-
show.
Is it weird that it makes me want to eat brains? I don't
Yes,
know.
it's weird.
Because, no, it's
does.
not, because the montages of her cooking,
Yeah,
of Liv cooking the different
constantly.
brains, and
Yeah.
every time it looks delicious.
I
I'm
could
like,
really do a
how
salad
does
right
she
now with
have-
brains.
I'm like, does she just have these cooking skills beforehand? Is that part of being a zombie?
It
Is
started like in the later episodes because at first it was
Yeah.
just like she would just like chop
Chop
it up
it
and
up
it looked
and
like
then
mac and
mix
cheese,
it in
and
with
then it
stuff,
just
but
got
then
really
it just
gourmet.
became, yeah, like really good.
It's insane.
I want to be a zombie if it means that you just have delicious food all the time that has brains in it.
Sauteed brain.
Unless you just get the goop. Teen Wolf 2 is back. I do the after show for that one too. So if you guys are a fan of Teen Wolf,
Fantastic.
stick around on Sundays. And this week I won't be here because one of our producers is getting married and I'm gonna go to her wedding. But we're gonna have Cody St. New, who plays Brett Talbot on the show. He's gonna be coming on. So
Wow.
check that out.
You guys gotta have a big show there. That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kylan Rambo will be next week. He plays Mason, so we always have the cast in on that one. So definitely check it out. Preacher.
Yeah.
Preacher's
Which
back.
You also.
I don't host the after show for Preacher, but I love Preacher.
Sorry, force a habit. You
And
have
I
all
did,
the cool
well,
horror
I
shows.
did the red carpet for it when
Okay,
it
that's what I was
first came
thinking,
out,
yeah.
and I got to interview all the cast, and they're awesome. They're absolutely amazing. The show is amazing. And last season, I'll say some people complained that it was a little slow. They were like, pick up the pace. Season 2 is just like, so it's
Straight out of the gate.
Yeah,
Like
it's incredible. So definitely tune in. Definitely recommend Preacher.
fantastic. And there's like this new show on Sci-Fi called Blood Drive. So that's a. Do you know what?
It's some kind of dystopian future, and they've somehow developed a way to power cars with blood.
That's
So,
fantastic.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, which
All
is
better than solar.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
And Face Off is back too on Sci-Fi
Oh, yeah, Face Off.
too. So
Yeah.
that one's back. So check that one out.
that's awesome. This is a full fall, a full autumn, a great. Wait, let's just call it Halloween season. Let's
Yeah.
call it what it is. Halloween
Scare
season starts.
season.
The scare
Scare
season. That's
season.
right. So we will, as the months roll on here, going into Halloween, we're going to be delving a little bit deeper into these movies. We'll be going and we'll be seeing them for you. We'll be doing some reviews for them. We'll be talking about them, and same thing with these TV shows. And we'll also be keeping up with all the conventions coming up, everything that's coming up. And as we are, the last thing of the show today, what we want to do is we want to find out a little bit more about ScareLA, what people can do while they're at ScareLA, like the classes and some of the panels, some of the big panels that are going to be happening. For example, like you have like classes you have to sign up for ahead of time.
Yes, well, we have two types of classes. Well, some of them are free, which are basically just you sit, you learn, you watch a demo, you interact. Like we're making Wonder Woman bracelets. We're going to be doing a Batman trivia, kind of make your own game and trivia class. We're going to teach you how to do haunted houses, do horror marketing, if you want to start your own haunted attraction. But on the make and take side, this has a little bit of a pay to it because we just needed for the supplies for the educators. But you can literally actually take, speaking of Face Off, Skin Wars. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that show, but Kyle Vest, who is season 2 of Skin Wars, will be actually teaching classes on how to do full-on professional special effects makeup. There's an excellent list of educators that are going to be making different crypts. Speaking of crypt keepers,
The art of turning wood into a rusted steampunk gear.
Right.
What
so
a great
for
class.
cosplayers, you
Brilliant.
learn how to turn pretty much anything. Probably this piece of paper or this angel. You can make it look really rusted if you wanted to, or creatures from the Dark Lagoon can be completely covered in rust.
And you guys always have some really good foam sculpting classes there
Foam
as well.
sculpting will be there. So yeah, Melissa Honzilla is going to be doing some foam sculpting, and also we have a whole list of foam classes as well. It's going to be amazing. I mean, I think in terms of education, if you really want to learn anything from better cosplay or horror, how to make things distressed, how to make them gory, bloody, down to how to build a haunted house in a very easy and ineffective, cheap way, it's really kind of a really great place to start, because these are the guys that have been doing this for years. They've done makeup and costumes for giant productions and attractions, and they come to basically share their knowledge, in many cases free of charge.
And you have a pretty cool film festival happening as well. Some shorts and some different horror films going on with a lot of, like we talked about Phantasm. Also, Coffin 2 is opening at ScareLA, and also another excellent Q&A with cast and the creators. Haunters the movie, which has been really anticipated. I've been looking forward to that. Yeah.
So yeah, they're going to do a sneak peek there and do a Q&A with the cast.
And can you tell us a little bit about Haunters the movie, people that don't know about
Haunters the movie? It's a documentary about haunters. So really kind of taking you behind the scenes of their dreams, nightmares, their daily lives.
The people who build and produce all
who build
this,
and
yeah.
create these attractions.
okay.
You know, what compels them to do that? You know, are they insane to do this? Are they, just regular Joes? You get to find out. You get to really follow the journeys of several of them and listen to them kind of share their experience of how they got there and what brought them to the Halloween haunt industry. So.
What kind of questions do we have for Lora? Because last year you had the guys that they go sliding and they jump and they what is that?
That's actually the Decayed Brigade Slider crew.
Okay.
And it's they're doing 3 shows every day.
So they're back. They're
back. They're going to be performing this year in our immersive Scarywood dark interactive zone.
Oh yeah.
There's this street in Scarywood, which is this little town out of place, out of time, which is called Slider Street. And instead of driving their cars down that little street, the weirdo residents of the town slide down it on their knee pads. So you get to see them, and there's actually slider clinics. So if you want to try to slide and learn what it takes,
Oh yeah.
those guys are going to be there teaching everybody from toddlers to, grandpas and grandmas.
And you say, do you guys have some of the miniature haunts back this year?
Mini haunts are back. We have a UV black maze, so you can walk through in 3D.
You've got some escape rooms this year too,
We
don't
have
you?
escape
wow.
rooms, actually multiple escape rooms. We have the biggest interactive zombie infection game we've ever done. We premiered a similar experience about 3 years back, and we're bringing it bigger and better. So the entire show floor will be engage this year.
Yeah, without giving too much away, you actually experienced the float.
Yes, I did
float
the
experience. What was that?
experience.
The IT float.
The IT float.
Yeah.
The it
You
float.
get your computer fixed.
What's funny is when I read through the thing, for some reason I'm so used to working with IT, I'm like, why am I reading it as IT? But yeah,
Try tagging them on Facebook or like Twitter, and
Yeah,
like all
then
these
it's all these
suggestions come
computer
up. It's like
things. Yeah.
it's support. No.
I know. What'd you think of it? What'd you think of
it? Was
Have an
amazing.
support group maybe, but
It was a good like 3 to 5. It was maybe like 4 or 5 minutes, but it was pretty intense. I mean, like if you're super afraid of clowns, I'm not really, and I was just kind of like laughing, kind of like he does. I'm like, oh, this is awesome, because you'd look down this way, there'd be something happening, and they were good at like drawing your eye, because you'd have headphones on, you had the VR thing and stuff. So I even just kind of would like play around and act like I'm reaching for things and all that. And at one point, like you do come like face to face with him, and he's like
That's
talking right in your face, which to some people will be like horrifying.
That's
but
awesome.
it was just a lot of fun, and yeah, if you can, definitely do it, because it was pretty sweet.
So there's a Rocky Horror sing-along that's
Rocky
happening.
Horror sing-along, zombie ballet, freak show. Going back to the panels and presentations, we actually have the TAPS Paranormal crew and sitting
and
down with the real
Ghost Hunters.
Ghost Hunters.
Yeah,
yes.
people. Yeah.
They're the crew from Ghost Hunters, and they're actually sitting down with Patty Negri, who's one of our city's top psychic mediums, and she will be talking to them, about their practices and are they doing the right things?
I
or
saw
not?
them last year. It was an amazing presentation. It really is. I love that.
So,
For somebody who's not that into horror, I am really intrigued by this convention.
well,
Like,
it's
I
meant
want
to.
to
Yeah.
do the classes. I want to do the escape rooms.
It's meant to be. I mean, Halloween is a lot of things for a lot of people. I love the horror and scary part, but I'm very much a Halloween geek and kind of cosplay geek, and for me, all of these things make up the entire experience. So it's not just about horror. I mean, horror it's a aspect of what I think Halloween is, but I mean, many people. I mean, Star Wars was the #1 selling costume for many years, and that's nothing to do with horror or anything,
Right.
but it's very much Halloween. So
That's true.
Right.
that's why we're branching out.
You mentioned some stuff about things for younger ages too.
Yeah,
right?
we have a kids area actually that both days, if you want to just get tired of your children, you just need them to unwind, and we have people that will amuse them for a little bit for you. You have
You
to
wanna
stay
dump
there.
them
You
off.
cannot leave them behind because the monsters, they get hungry sometimes. But
you
yes,
go.
we have kids activities all day long.
Cool.
And also, the thing that's kind of interesting, your Spook Easy at Clifton's. That sounds kind of cool. Clifton's, which is the
Clifton's.
oldest restaurant in Los Angeles, and you guys are having a special after party over there?
Yeah, so Saturday night they have let us into. They keep laughing at me because I call it the dungeon, but it's this like underground
Basement.
space that nobody ever goes into because it's not open to the public really. But they've let us explore it. We're gonna actually have
Oh, that's
some
pretty
amazing
cool.
entertainment there
That's
as well.
awesome.
And you guys are having a party down there. And
We're gonna
Scare
literally haunt it. We actually have characters that will be hiding in different dark corners throughout the
my.
party.
Awesome.
Lauren, this sounds awesome. This sounds.
Yeah.
I've gone to ScareLA for every year for the past 4 years. I don't think I went the first year, so I've gone for 4 years. So I can't wait. It's going to be a blast. If you guys have any questions, please tweet them to us. Send them to Lora. You can send your questions into @Scare Los Angeles is what it says, right? Scare Los Angeles. All right. And if you have any questions, please send those to Lora. It happens this weekend. We're going to actually have to wrap up here because she has an appointment
I
to
have
get
a
to.
massage to get to.
But the last thing we're going
Can't
to
get in
do,
the way of that.
if we have time, the last thing we're going to do as we close out, one thing that we want to do is always remind everybody it's fun. All this stuff is about fun. And Luke created this, I can't believe we're going to let this video show. It's a little bitty, like 40-second video. Let's see. But we need the sound turned up in the video for it to work, if it does work.
Let's see.
And Scare Jim? Yeah, that's correct. This is me, and you got to turn it up a little bit. And we will describe what we're seeing. This is me walking in to my room.
Let's see, there's your
Turns
room.
on the light.
Yeah, and then I don't realize it, but Michael Myers comes out of the closet right
Oh.
behind me.
Multiple angles.
And then... Okay, that's an... Okay, and then... Oh, it gets slower and slower. So Lucas created this series of videos. He calls them the Scare Gym videos, and he's got about 50 of these things, and it's amazing I'm still alive. But anyways, these are great. We're going to be sharing a lot of these things on the website. If you guys have some of these safe but scary, spooky videos of scaring your friends and stuff, we would love to see them. We'd love to feature more of these because these are fun. So anyways, we just want to remind everybody, we got 3 weeks to Halloween. It starts today. Today starts the scare season. 3 weeks to Halloween starts today. Exactly 3 weeks from tonight.
You mean 3 months?
I am getting ahead of myself. 3 months, 3 months, 3 months. Boy, wouldn't that be
Say
crazy?
that's fast.
How was that ScareLA? No, so yeah, we got 3 months to Halloween from tonight. So have a lot of fun with it. We'll be here. We'll be here a couple times each month. Please subscribe to the show here because we don't know exactly when we'll be back, but it's probably in about a week and a half or something like that. So anyways, my name is Jim. I am the managing editor here at The Scare Guy, and you can find us at The Scare Guy. I keep wanting to mix it up with my
saying
other
Con Guy.
Keep saying
I want to say the Con Guy because I
You
used to
can
say the
also
Con Guy.
find us on theconguy.com. We do have a tab for
Yes.
the Scare Guys. So if
So-
you do mix up the two, it's okay.
The
You
Scare
can
Guy
link either
is
way.
the scarier side of the Con Guy. Derek, where can we find you? Say something clear because I'm messing up.
You can find me on Twitter at ConGuyDerek,
That's
unless I find you first.
And at Scare Los Angeles on Twitter and ScareLA Con on Facebook.
Make
also
sure
on
you come down.
Instagram. Yeah.
Everybody come out this
And
weekend.
LA Convention Center in person. Please be there
Yes.
Saturday, Sunday.
And you guys can find me on Twitter at Elena Jordon and on Instagram at that Elena Jordan Girl. You can also catch me back here on AfterBuzz TV doing all those after shows that we talked about. And then you can also check me out on RelativityPodcast.com. The sci-fi series that I got to do with Lee Shackelford, who wrote for Star Trek Next Generation, got picked up for a second season. So you can check it out.
Congratulations! That's great. That's great.
Yeah, you can mainly. My name's Luke Cheeseman, and you can find me on mainly on the ScareGuy.com or on the Instagram or Twitter. Just search it, or if you want to contact me personally at ConGuyLuke on the Twitter.
That is all we have for tonight. Have a really spooky time this week, guys. We'll see you back here next time. All right.
Bye.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of its owners or principals.